Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, Dakota Frandsen. Today is March 8th, 2019. It is International Women's Day, so be sure to give thanks and show appreciation for the special women in your life. Be it your mother, grandmother, sister, cousin, best friend, girlfriend, fiancé, wife, whatever the situation may be. I will admit that I have to acknowledge these days, as I would be a liar if I were to say that the most influential people in my life, those who had truly helped me become the man I am today, were some of the most headstrong women I have ever met. And I also have to give them shout-outs because it just so happens most of them have birthdays this month. Yesterday actually being my grandmother's birthday. So happy birthday, Grandma, or late birthday. Don't get too old. Anyway. I also find it convenient that Marvel puts out Captain Marvel today of all days. No, I haven't had a chance to see it yet, so please don't spoil it. But I'm told to bring tissues for the Stan Lee tribute. I've also been notified that my friend Kevin Smith, who is a fellow Legion M investor, was given a shout out in the movie. And Mr. Smith also happens to be a comic writer and is also recently been hired by Marvel to do the Hulu series for Howard the Duck. So, appropriate little shout outs for Mr. Kevin Smith right there. But I don't want to make this broadcast simply about praising women, Marvel films, all that, because don't get me wrong, ladies, you don't get enough credit, and you have to put up with a lot of crap that you just don't deserve. I am not saying anything against that, and I am trying my best not to be part of the problem, but I am only human, and I know I am probably guilty of something. But nevertheless. But tonight, I want to share some thoughts on life, on change, relationships, things of that nature. Make this more of a reflective broadcast to let you all inside the deep darkness that is my mind. And if you agree with some of these points, I would love to hear your thoughts. Send in your voice messages through the Anchor FM website or app. Leave a comment on the channel you are hearing this broadcast from. Send a message through social media. A link should be available in the episode description. And share this amongst your friends. I would love to hear your opinion. But for right now, we're going to take a quick commercial break. And when we return, we'll discuss these matters in depth.
Hey everyone, Dakota Frandsen here, Specialist of the Strange. I just wanted to come with you real quick about potentially doing your own podcast. Have you ever wanted to start your own podcast? Maybe you got a lot of questions like, how do I record? How do I get my show into all these apps that are out there? How can I make money? There are probably several thousand other questions about getting this show off the ground that you have been formulating and communicating in your mind. And I'm here to tell you that there is a very simple answer to this. Anchor. Anchor is a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, distributing your show. And best of all, it is 100% free. Get all the perks from the other guys without having to pay for subscription fees. And best of all, it is easy. And in fact, Anchor can match you up with sponsors who want to advertise on your podcast right now, which means you can get paid doing what you love. Isn't that the fucking dream, my friends? In fact, that's actually what I'm trying to do right now by reading this ad for you. It is amazing. It helps ease the process for guests, putting on music, whatever you want to do. So if you want to start your podcast, make some money doing it, go to anchor.fm/start to join me and several other fabulous people already using Anchor. That's anchor.fm/start. And I cannot wait to hear you on the air.
And welcome back. Thank you for sticking around. Now, over the last couple of weeks, I've made some observations about life, and I wanted to share things. Simply because, well, there is no other avenue I find better suited to discuss these matters. Within my day job, I've noticed an interesting phenomenon taking place. Perhaps phenomenon is too fancy a word for it, but I'm using it anyway. And if you listened to last week's broadcast, you might be familiar with my rant. Yes, this is related. But I'm going to mention it anyway. I have been having issues with a coworker who has all of a sudden decided that I'm trying to take credit, apparently, for jobs she allegedly worked on. When yet, She refuses to come in to work at all when I'm around. In fact, it was speculated, and I still have no doubts that this is the situation. She was trying to use me to cover her ass, to falsely put in her time card punches so she can be paid more than what she actually is worth. It is these matters and knowing some of the details behind this person that make me want to really speculate things. Make me realize how lucky I actually have been. Because it is my understanding with this particular person, their entire life is a result of people simply not caring. The bad choices, dietary habits, their habits in general, all the result of someone not caring enough to speak up, to say something. And there's evidence of other things involved, like drug use. And it is evident enough to where my contacts within local law enforcement have even taken notice. Yes, you are. I'm sorry. Neighbors. Not exactly being quiet, but they're a halfway decent bunch. Anyway, back to this individual. There's evidence of drug use. There is heavy smoking to the point that she looks like she has no teeth, and the only time you can tell she actually has teeth remaining in her mouth is when you are too close and start smelling the foul stench from the damn cigarettes. Which is a pain in the ass for me because I am actually allergic. Nothing severe, just minor irritation, but nevertheless. There's also evidence of heavy and chronic drug use that has completely fucked up her head. It makes you think, what is it that drives a person to make those choices? What is it? You can claim that it is an illness, and it is a recognized illness, but it is an illness brought by poor choices. Comparable to how other things may be, but nevertheless. It is simply a matter of willpower. Willpower to fight against the urges, to claim for the excuse as they need an escape from it all. Because I also speculate she will soon pay the price for her actions. And I find it irritating because she has disappeared from work for days on end. Nobody's ever seen her. Then she acts like nothing has happened. Like I wouldn't have noticed. The fact that everyone was asking me if I knew what was going on. I don't know. As I go about my day-to-day, I see this everywhere. People who make these poor choices allow themselves to drown in this misery. Allow themselves to become corrupt, rotten, pitiful, worthless excuses for human beings, all for the simple joys of getting a high, getting laid, sexual thrills, whatever happened to the days when you went for adrenaline highs, not drug highs. Oh wait, these drugs replicate those effects. You have people who look for every excuse to try to take their own life. And some of them may have had legitimate issues. Seems like you have more people willing to take their life nowadays and actually fight for it. We have people willing to end another's life with simple curiosities, yet panic at the sight of a piece of paper. We indulge ourselves in these unhealthy habits to support our systems, just so we can see a reoccurring paycheck as compensation for our time. It seems the entire system that society has in place is meant for humanity's self-destruction. We have apps to try to meet significant others, yet we cannot actually speak to one another without the medium of text or technology. We refuse to go out and explore the world, yet scour through Google Maps to look for funny photos. We refuse to hop on a plane because of the media's tendencies to exaggerate the darkness that is inside the world for simple ratings, out of fear of getting caught up in the action when they are those who sacrifice their lives to effectively and eliminate those threats. So we, the average people, can go on about our lives, none the wiser of the cruelties that our common man can place upon our own. We are becoming dependent on the bosoms of government when said government is being run by officials who have the attention spans and greediness of a spoiled 5-year-old. Our society is rigged for self-destruction. Yet, those who seem to become a beacon of hope within this dark and plastic world, flames to truly ignite what makes life meaningful: love, poetry, creative arts. The flames that give those who sacrifice their time and lives to save others, to build medicines so we may live longer, to combat the diseases in which plague our world. When we find those, it seems that even they are corrupted. Yet, as we find these flames, the fear of becoming something more becomes too much of a burden to truly explore the potentials of what could come. The fear of losing someone that we love. And though the situation is always different between each party, nevertheless the effects are still the same. And as we watch our children grow, those we have helped guide to this point of adulthood, in hopes that they can become something more, you learn that they are replicating the mistakes of those that came before you, and wonder if you had done something wrong. If you had done enough to prepare them, or if this will be a lesson that they will best learn amongst themselves through failure. There is still beauty in this world. Yet many who choose to never see it, who choose to pick video games over sport. Dependencies on electronics in a world that is always on the brink of having every last thing we have come to rely on destroyed in a single blow. We scour the earth, claiming to look for ones who understand what it is that flows through our minds, understands our points of view. Yet, we cannot take the steps to build those connections, and those who are brave enough to actually move forward with their plans and hopes to better the world are treated as liars. When the accusers are simply too cowardly to try anything else. It is these thoughts that make me wonder if our world is doomed for self-destruction, or if this is merely a byproduct of the fear of change that is about to be brought upon the earth. I say this as I have learned change is about to arrive in my own life. Change that I had feared would be coming for many years. For nearly as long I have searched the earth, searched the cosmos for answers in the unknown odds that have plagued me since my birth. It is truly something to ponder. I wish to hear your thoughts on this. But of course, this is merely a recording, and these social media outlets in which I have depended on falsely advertise methods in which you can promote your products or services to fake accounts on their sites to further scam you out of a few dollars. It is a miracle we have made it this long. The chance for change happens within every moment we are still breathing, my friends. Humanity has always been, by design, a social creature. Therefore, we must take a democratic approach. Hear all sides to all these arguments. Then maybe we can truly find the change in which we are needing. This will require us actually speaking, and speaking only, the truth. How can we start to do this? Simply build little ways to speak nothing but honesty to those you love, to those that come across your path on the street, as you head to work each morning, as you go about your daily duties. Speak, learn, befriend those not in just your own age, but those who are much older, those who are much younger. But perhaps you are like me, and you have a tendency to feel like you are falling in love with those you consider your dearest friends. I made such a confession to someone I care about not too long ago, as I was too sleep-deprived to catch myself before the honest truth came out. Yet, since I made that confession, it has been an awkward situation, simply because she did not feel the same. Other factors behind this particular situation are in place to where moving forward was honestly not a good idea for either one of us. But it was a truth I had to share in order to move on. And if that dear friend happens to be listening to this show, I am truly sorry if I had weirded you out in any way, and I am still here for you if you ever need someone to talk to. But back to fixing these matters, as we are becoming dependent upon personal satisfaction, instant gratification without communication, our own social constructs, which existed for nearly as long as mankind has walked the earth. These are crumbling apart as we are getting false satisfaction from applications and software. We must truly speak to one another, hear all sides to the stories that are being told, in order to discover what can truly be done to fix the world, to have a better understanding of others, and to have a better understanding of the creation of the world itself. Whether it is in personal relationships, new projects you wish to work on, work-related incidents, or something more. Don't get me wrong, every action has consequences, and to which those consequences cannot be avoided. I will have more after this quick commercial break. Stay tuned. And that is all I have for you tonight. Somewhat of a short episode, I know. If you would like to suggest new ideas for future episodes, you can find all the ways to reach me by clicking on the link in the description box below. It will take you to a blog post containing all of the official links to where you can find me on social media, purchase merchandise from myself, which includes t-shirts, posters, bags, books, movies, and so much more, as well as all the channels you can reach this show in one convenient location. If the link doesn't work, just try copy and pasting it into your address box on your internet browser. My name is Dakota Frandsen. Please do tune in next week for another episode. I will see you then. Good night, and have a pleasant weekend.